Hello. So I had an idea to make a video, every #1 song ever ranked worst to best, but then I realised how long that would take to make. And by the time I did eventually finish making it, there'd be a load more new #1s to add in. So I've decided to do it 1 year at a time to see how that goes, and that way we can also find out what the best and worst years for music ever were. I don't know how committed I am to this idea. I may do a Sufjan Stevens and say that I'm going to do 50 years, but only end up doing 2. But I guess we'll find out. If you're like me and you haven't really listened to the charts for the last 10 years because you're worried about the damage that it's going to do to your ears and your brain, then let me take the journey for you so you know what's worth listening to and what you need to avoid for the sake of your life. I'm like Odysseus tied to the mast with listening to the sirens, and you're my crewmate with your ears blocked. So in this video I'm going to go through every #1 of 2025 and rate each song on 2 scales, both from -5, meaning pure hatred, to +5, meaning pure love, with 0 as a nice neutral in the middle. And the first scale is how much do I like this song? And then the second is how much do I like that it was #1? I'm like rating the people's choice to make this #1. And I'm gonna try my hardest to just look at the song as the song. Try not to let the fact that I've heard some of these songs a billion times in the last year affect my score. Looking at you, Pink Pony Club. I'll try to play a little bit of the song so you can get a little taster of them. But I feel like some of the big pop acts are going to be a bit more litigious than some of the weird indie artists that I've played clips of before. But I'm very happy that I've finally been able to use the word litigious in a video, one of my favourite words. But anyway, I'm going to go through them chronologically, and we're starting now with the first #1 of 2025. 9th of January, it was That's So True by Gracie Abrams. So this was #1 towards the end of 2024. It got knocked down when all the Christmas songs came out, and then it came back to #1 at the start of 2025. And I'm glad that a song with that history is the first #1 of 2025, because I'm going to make an executive decision about songs that are #1s in multiple years. My decree is this: the song score is going to stay the same across all the years, but the #1 score is going to change depending on the context of why it was #1. I need to come up with snappier names for those scores, I know. Like if a song was 3 out of 5, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in every year that it's #1. But if it got to #1 because it was used in The Office, that's 5 out of 5. If it got to #1 because it was used in Afterlife, that's a -5. That's the law. Anyway, That's So True. When I first heard the name Gracie Abrams, I thought, isn't that the same surname as the guy that made those terrible Star Wars films? That's a weird coincidence. But then I went on Wikipedia and there he was in her relatives section. And she can't help that she's a Nepo baby, so I'm not going to judge her too harshly for that. But if you share a fairly unique name with your Nepo parent, maybe change it so it's not too obvious. If I was her, I'd probably change my name to something else like Macy Abrams, or maybe Stacey Abrams. But the song That's So True, listening to this, I think I now know how Radiohead fans felt in the late 90s when bands like Muse, Coldplay and Travis were coming out. I think Gracie Abrams could be the muse to Phoebe Bridgers' Radiohead. Fairly similar sounding voice, but the lyrics and the music have nowhere near the complexity. So any Radiohead fans watching this, I'd like to apologise for the amount that I dissed you in my every Radiohead song ranked worst to best video. I didn't know, but now I do. This song sounds a little bit like a pop version of Motion Sickness, which is not a bad thing, that's a great song. And this song is quite catchy, it's got some good melodies in there, but the lyrics, bloody hell. They're literally just like a watered down version of Phoebe Bridgers. It's like season 1 of Game of Thrones is a little bit of a watered down version of the first book of Game of Thrones, but it's pretty similar still. That's So True is like the season 8 of Game of Thrones compared to if there was an 8th book. So as much as I do like the sound of the song, the lyrics are so bad that I do want to give it a -1. But I'm going to be generous and go to a 0, just because if you're going to rip someone off, rip off someone good. Phoebe Bridgers is someone good, so yeah, that's a good choice. Then in terms of how happy I am that this was #1, I'm actually quite happy with this being #1. It's definitely pop, but it's a little bit folky, there's acoustic guitars, there's real instruments. So I'm happy enough with That's So True wearing the crown for a few weeks. So I'll give it a 2 for #1 status, which gives us a final score of 2 out of 10 for That's So True by Gracie Abrams, which I feel could be one of the highest scores of 2025. The next #1 on the 30th of January was Messy by Lola Young. You told me get a job and you asked where the hell I've been. I'd never heard of this song or of Lola Young before, so I had a look on Wikipedia about this song and it said that this song went viral because it was on TikTok, which is always a red flag for me. Like, anytime I see a book and it's got something about TikTok in this title, immediately I'm like, no thanks. That's how I ended up reading a Frida McFadden book. So no thanks, TikTok. And the first time I listened to this song, I did think, yeah, this does sound a bit TikTok baity. But I scrolled a bit further down on Wikipedia and it said that this song's about Lola Young's ADHD, which does make the lyrics make more sense, make them a bit less TikTok-y. But I do still think that the lyrics are a bit too on the nose and the chorus is pretty annoying. It's not terrible though, but I'm still gonna give this song a -1. And then for it being a number one, the music does have a little bit of an Amy Winehouse feel, which I quite like. And I'm giving the great British public a lot of benefit of the doubt here and assuming that they did know what this song was about when they made it number one. So I'll score it a 2 for being number one, giving us a final score of 1. The next number one on 27th of February, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young.
Another one that came out in 2024, and out of all of the songs in this list, this is the only one that I actually actively listen to. I'm pretty sure it was a number one when it first came out, but it got a resurgence here after Kendrick's Super Bowl performance when he called Drake a nonce. It's a banger of a song. I was gonna give it a 4, but I actually have listened to a playlist before of every UK number one. And when I got to the end of that, the number one was Wham. And in terms of modern number one songs, I can't think of many that I like more than Not Like Us. So this is gonna have to be a 5. And then it got to number one on the back of Kendrick calling Drake a nonce at the Super Bowl. He got tens of thousands of people in the stadium to say A minor, broadcast to hundreds of millions of people around the world. And it's hard to hate anything about that. So it's gonna have to be another 5 for it being a number one, which makes this song a perfect 10. Going straight into the Hall of Fame here. And I've got a feeling that it's gonna be a while before another song joins it. Next, on the 13th of March, we had Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna try and separate my score from the fact that I've heard this song so many times since it came out. Anytime I hear it, I have to find the source, turn it off, change it over, run outside, cover my ears and go la 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 till it's over. There's really been no escaping Chappell Roan, which on the most part I haven't minded. Hot to Go, I like it. Casual, great song. Good Luck Babe, great song. That was in my top songs of 2024 video after all. And her music definitely is a step up over most of the recent pop number ones. I just wish people would play something else other than Pink Pony Club. I like the verses a lot, the melody is great. I like the lyrics, most of the lyrics at least. But by the end of the first chorus, I'm already getting annoyed by the amount of times she's saying Pink Pony Club. She just keeps saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. And saying it. Like she wanted to make absolutely sure that no one confused this song for something else. I just get a bit annoyed by the repetitiveness of some of it. So I'm gonna give this a 1 for the song, and I actually respect us for making this a number one for a while. So I'll score us a 3, giving us a total of 4. Now please, just never ever let me hear this song again, please. 27th of March, we had Ordinary by Alex Warren. Before I talk about the song, I just want to give a quick shout out to the official charts company, who have got a page with all the year's number ones that I'm basing this video off of. But when I was looking at the 2025 one, I saw this, and this song was number one for 12 weeks. And I'd never heard of it. Never heard of Ordinary, never heard of Alex Warren. So I thought, wow, am I actually that out of touch now that this song has been number one for 12 weeks and I haven't heard it? I think the longest song that's ever been number one, I think is One Dance by Drake, which is about 15 weeks. But then I listened to it and I did recognise it. So I thought, oh, thank God, I'm not an old man yet. I'm surprised that it was number one as long as it was, because there's nothing like some of the other songs that have been number one for ages, like Shape of You or Crazy Frog. Because this song's actually decent. I like the choir, it's quite catchy. It sounds like an Imagine Dragons song, but they had someone that stepped in before they got a bit too epic. So I'm feeling a pair of 2s for this song. Let's give it a total of 4. Not bad, but I did see on Wikipedia that this Alex Warren guy is something to do with TikTok, so yeah. Next up, 19th of June, is Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter. I only knew that Sabrina Carpenter had a new album coming out because of the controversy with the album cover. People saying it reminded them of Smell the Glove, which made me realise it had been a while since I'd seen Spinal Tap, so I went back and rewatched it. And it was as great as ever. Thanks Sabrina, and shout out Rob Reiner. And whilst I'm thankful to Sabrina for making me rewatch Spinal Tap, I'm less thankful for making me listen to this song. When the synth started at the start, I thought it was a Good Luck Babe, but sadly it's not, it's really not. I like the little country twinges that you get throughout, and this isn't a bad song overall, but it's just a bit bland, musically and lyrically. So I'm feeling a -2 for the song. And then for the British public, we've done worse in the past than make a bland and boring song #1. So I'll go for another -2 here. So Manchild gets -4, our first negative score. But I think now we're about to get our second negative score because the next #1 on the 10th of July was Survive by Lewis Capaldi.
I swear to God I'll survive.
I don't want to be too harsh on Lewis Capaldi because he has struggled with some health stuff in public, very publicly. But imagine being his mate, you're down the pub with him and he says to you, "Hey guys, I just finished a new song, what do you think?" Wow, another emotional piano ballad where you're wailing about having your heart broken again. It's great, mate, it's bloody great. I don't think I could be his friend, sorry Lewis. He has put out some pretty terrible songs in his time. If I ever do a 2023 video, Wish You the Best is getting a -10, I can tell you that now for certain. Genuinely one of the worst things ever created by humans. But to be fair, Survive is not an emotional piano ballad. It's nothing like that. It's an emotional piano ballad with guitar at the start. Oh, look, I'm not a completely black-hearted man. I know it's about Lewis's struggles, but come on, it's a terrible song. It sounds like a X Factor's Winners song, one of the later ones from like 2015, when you didn't even realise X Factor was still going. So it won't surprise you that I have no choice but to give this song a -5. Then in terms of it being #1, I'm gonna show some compassion. It's a terrible song, but I'm only gonna give it a -4. That's the best I can do for you, Lewis. I know it's about your struggles, but what about my struggles when I have to listen to this song? So this song's getting an overall of -9 out of 10, which could potentially be the highest score that Lewis Capaldi ever gets on this channel, so congratulations, Lewis. Next, on the 17th of July, we have Dior by MK. I'd never heard of MK or Crystal or Dior, the song. I had heard of the donkey from Winnie the Pooh, but sadly this song is not worthy of the name Dior. Maybe Tigger. It's a fairly generic sounding house song that's quite repetitive and a bit annoying, so I'm gonna give it a -3. And honestly, I'm quite embarrassed that we made this a #1. Similar levels to that Lewis Capaldi song, so it's gonna get another -4 here for a total of -7. The next #1 is Daisies by Justin Bieber. Bieber is back. I had no idea that he was still making music, to be honest. And I was even more surprised when I hit play on Daisies and it was a lo-fi indie pop song, like a groovier, upbeat version of Self-Control by Frank Ocean. I'm not that familiar with Justin Bieber's discography, I'll be honest, so even though this is the best Justin Bieber song I've ever heard, that may not mean that much. It did remind me of someone else as well, this song. I couldn't put my finger on it, but then I looked at the credits and saw McGee was a producer, and I was like, oh yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Now, fair play, Bieber. I'm gonna give this song a pair of 3s for a total of 6, which I think is the highest score I've given so far. Next, on the 7th of August, we have Golden. I'm gonna have to read who it's by. Huntr, X, Ejae, Audrey, Nuna, and Ray. And all I know is that this song is from K-pop Demon Hunters, and the only thing I know about it is that it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's a TV show or a film, and I can't speak to the quality of it, but I can speak to the quality of the song, which is, yeah, decent. It reminds me a bit of that Kylie Rae Jepsen song, you know, the one with the saxophone at the start that had that meme of the seal playing it. Run Away With Me, big bang of that. The song's decent, it's catchy. I like pretty much all of it except the notes in the chorus that are so high pitched that only dogs can hear it. So when I was playing this song, I could hear my neighbour's dog going absolutely mental. I like that it's got bits in Korean. I think that the only other #1 in Korean is Gangnam Style, so it's in good company. So for the song, I'm gonna go for a 2. It's decent. Then for it to be a #1, I'm gonna go for a 3 with an asterisk. But the asterisk is that if I ever watch K-pop Demon Hunters and think it's absolutely terrible, then the 3 is gonna go down a few. But if I watch it and it's absolutely brilliant, it's gonna go up a bit. So it's 3 for now, we'll see how that goes. For a total of 5 for Golden and the K-pop Demon Hunters. Next up is our old friend Chappell Roan. She's back with The Subway. And this one I actually hadn't heard at all. So I didn't get any PTSD listening to it like I did with Pink Pony Club. And when I first pressed play, I thought I'd accidentally pressed play on Heaven or Las Vegas by the Cockatoo Twins, because it sounds exactly the same, except I can actually make out what the lyrics are on The Subway. I love a bit of jangle pop, a lot of jangly vibes going on here. Sounds a little bit like the Cranberries. And I was thinking of giving this song a 2, because I think Chappell Roan, from what I've heard, is a bit like the Killers, in that her best songs are the ones that make you like, pump your fists in the air, say, come on. You need like a massive chorus that everyone can sing along to, which this song isn't really. But I really like the outro, where it says she got away and she's got away, and it kind of blends together. So I'll bump it up to a 3 for that. Well done. And then for it being number 1, I sort of want to say 5 just because of how jangly it is. But I'm worried that that'll set a precedent where every jangly song has to be given a 5 as well, so I can't do that. And I refuse to give Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something a 5 for anything. So I'll go for a 4 for a total of 7. Next up, 3rd of October, Man I Need by Olivia Dean. Another artist and song that I'd never heard of, and when I hit play, I still didn't recognise it, although it did remind me a lot of the song On the Floor by Perfume Genius. Great song, always nice to be reminded of that. It also reminded me a little bit of the song Now You're a Man from the South Park guys. I'm not sure what film it was in. It wasn't in South Park. At the end where she goes, man, 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 man. Both songs repeat man in quick succession in a similar way. So that's another great song to be reminded of, which bodes well for this song. And it shouldn't be a surprise, I actually really quite like this song. Just a great song, catchy, sort of soul-y vibes. To be honest, I'm torn between a 4 and a 5 for this song. I don't know. Let me think. 4, 5, I'm gonna go for a 4. I'm gonna go for another 4 for it being number 1. For a total of 8, I think I'm happy with that score. That could be another asterisk, I think. Let's give it an 8 with an asterisk. By the end of this video, I may come back and make one of those 4s a 5. We'll see. And next up, 10th of October, a big one, The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift. And things look a little bit different from this point in the video is because it's actually the next day. But just so you wouldn't get too freaked out, I did put the same fleece on, you're welcome. Taylor Swift's an artist I don't think's ever come up on this channel. And for most of her career, I had no opinion on her music. That changed when Folklore came out. And I listened to it and I liked pretty much every song on that album. I thought, wow, maybe she actually is a genius. And then I went back and listened to all her other albums and thought, she's all right. She's not for me, but she's not bad. Red's a good album. Folklore's a good album. And when Evermore came out, that's a good album as well. The rest, I'm like, I could take or leave them. But on the back of liking Folklore and Evermore, I was excited for Midnights when that came out. But then I listened to it and I thought, it's not great. Then Tortured Poets came out and I got as far as the song with the line about how Charlie Puth should have been a bigger artist and I had to turn it off. It was pretty terrible. Top 100 Spotify artists, Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. That Charlie Puth, come on Taylor. So after that, I went back to having zero interest in her career, which continued up to when Life of a Showgirl got announced. And before making this video, I'd actually heard 0 seconds of any song from that album, which is probably the first time I've not heard anything from a Taylor Swift album since, I don't even know when. Probably the first time ever. So for The Fate of Ophelia, I had no idea what to expect really. The only thing I knew was that the album was called Life of a Showgirl, so I was expecting maybe a showgirl sound. But I also knew that the album didn't get great reviews. A lot of criticism about the lyrics especially. All that's to say, I didn't know what to expect from this song, but I was ready to hate it. I had my -10 graphic ready to go for this one. And then I pressed play on it, and it was actually pretty good. Definitely not a showgirl sound that I was expecting, not at all. It's fairly standard synth pop, but it's really catchy, and the lyrics are actually fine. Apart from one line about keep it 100. I like a song with a timeless feel, and any time a song has modern lingo in it, like keep it 100, that kind of ruins it for me. If I hear this song in 20 years time, I'm gonna think, oh yeah, remember when everyone used to say keep it 100? Oh, those were the good old days. But compared to some of the lyrics that I have seen from this album, that's still probably in the top half of lyrics. In my mind, there's a song that sounds a lot like this, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called or who it's by. I did Google it. Some people were saying Summertime Sadness, which I can hear a little bit of, but there's something that sounds like it more. If I can't think of the song, then the artist who made the song definitely won't be able to think of it. So Taylor Swift is probably not going to get sued for this, so she can keep her £1 billion. Anyway, for the song, I actually quite like it, so I'm going to go for a 3, which is about 8 higher than I was expecting to score it before I listened to it, so congratulations, Taylor. Then for it being number 1, I'm not sure. If a new Taylor Swift album comes out, there's a 100% chance that something from it is going to be number 1. And from the one song that I've heard from the album, this is number one. But I do feel like I need to listen to the rest of the album to see if we chose the right song to make number one. Maybe the Wood song with the lines about the redwood tree and unlocking my thighs. Maybe that's the best song. It's gonna get a 3 for now with an asterisk. And if I ever listen to Life of a Showgirl and there are some better songs on there, then that 3 is gonna drop down. So what's that overall? I think that's 6. Can't really remember what I gave it. Next, on the 18th of December, is Last Christmas by Wham.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
Ho ho ho, maybe I should dig out my Santa hat now we're in the Christmas song territory. In terms of Christmas songs, Last Christmas is up there. It's a great song. Although like Die Hard and Fairy Tale of New York, it's not actually about Christmas, it's just set at Christmas. I would give it a 4, because it's one of the few Christmas songs that I don't get sick of hearing over and over again in December. But it's not an evergreen song. You can't listen to this song in July and still enjoy it. So I'm gonna give it a 3. And that'll get a 3 every year that it's number one now. I think it went 40 years without being number one. And then the last 5 years, it's been number one 4 times. And then for it being number one, I'll give it a 1. It's starting to get old, it being number one every year now. And if it's number one in 2026, it could get a 0, maybe a -1. But out of the songs that were up there in the charts this year, it's probably the best of them. So it's getting a 4 for 2025. And next, the final number one of the year, on the 25th of December, XMAS by Kylie Minogue. Kylie's back with a Hot To Go ripoff. XMAS. More like SHIT. No offense, Kylie, I know it's Christmas, but this song is absolutely terrible. What were you thinking? Plus, it's an Amazon exclusive song, which on the one hand, not a fan of Amazon, but if the song's only on Amazon, it means as long as I don't get Amazon Music ever, then I'll never have to hear it again. And I'm happy to announce we have our first pair of -5s because I have no respect for this song, anyone involved with this song, or anyone who helped make this song a number one. I hate you. So there we go, that's every number one of 2025 rated. I did just listen to Man I Need again, and I'm happy with giving it a pair of 4s. Now I've averaged all those scores out, the final score for music in 2025 is 1.8 out of 10. We're in the positives, which is more than I was expecting. I was surprised that I actually didn't mind most of these songs. The year's just been let down by a couple of really terrible stinkers. I've got another video like this on the way. The year I've chosen is 2017, which features our old pals Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, and new friends like Ed Sheeran and DJ Khaled. So that'll be out soon. And then the other videos that I've got in the pipeline are every My Chemical Romance song ranked worst to best, Emo's Not Just a Phase Mum, and every Beatles song ranked worst to best, which is ambitious, I know. There's over 200 songs there, so that'll take a while. But anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.